Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Caitlin Clark is back. No, she isn't. Yes, she is. No, she isn't. By the way, you look amazing today. Don't let anyone tell you different. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all of your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. So check this out. I've got some thoughts on this. I'm curious what you think. So we had this morning from Underdog WNBA. Shea Petty has signed a third 7-day contract with the Fever. And of course, first person right away, we're going to go to the victim. But I was attacked by Fever fans when I said Cece not returning this season. A lot of Fever fans have also said she's not returning this season, so that's kind of wild. But anyway, I just wanted to be able to use an annoying voice to upset you. Now, here's the thing. This is later on in the day. We have this. This is an Indiana Fever practice, folks. We are running. Now we're running unopposed, running with the second team unopposed. But yes, that is Caitlin Clark there on the far side of the court. And then she's going to bury the three as they move down the other direction. What the heck does this mean for the Indiana Fever? I have no idea. That is my expert opinion to you. I have no idea. Yo, Caitlin, you've got to take that. I don't know why she's in the corner. You don't usually see her in the corner, but Katie, Caitlin Elizabeth, you got to fire that. Don't be unselfish. Seriously though, what does this mean? That's a great question. Now look, here's the thing. It's the WNBA. Right? It's the WNBA. If you saw a video recently I did talking about Caitlin Clark and her being at the away games and all of that and the Fever and the league both dragging things out to kind of make it seem like she could be coming back at any moment when in fact they may know that she is completely done for the season. So in other leagues, I would look at this and say, this is a great sign, right? This is a great sign. I see it and say, yeah, man, it's something. Okay. Because I think the latest thing I even saw from the Fever was expected back September 7th. Now, of course, whenever Stephanie White is asked about it, she sounds like she's lying and she has no idea what's going on. But they did put out that date of September 7th. I told you in another video Caitlin needs to be back by the 5th. Now, it doesn't mean she can't be back. She can't come back the 7th, but I was thinking in terms of ramping up for the playoffs so that she can actually be a important contributor in the playoffs. September 5th, because that's 3 games, right? She can get her feet wet in the first one, maybe only 8, 10, 12 minutes. Maybe if things go well, if she feels all right afterward, then, and she's got her feet wet, so to speak, with her teammates in a live game situation. Maybe the next game is, 15, 18. If she's feeling great, maybe 20 minutes. And then that third and final game for the playoffs, we get more closer. Oh, my mom would anyway, we get closer to normal Caitlin time, and maybe we're talking 20, 25, 26 minutes in that third game, and she is ready to go for the playoffs. She's progressively gotten more minutes. She's gotten time with her teammates. She's gotten time with the second team, of course, a little bit, and then as her minutes ramp up, she's getting time with the starters. We already know she can play with KM and AB, and I tell you what, I will say this. For all the things that drive me nuts about Aaliyah Boston, I love watching Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston play their two-person game with that pick and roll. Now, it didn't seem like Stephanie White allowed it to happen all that often, but if that is going to happen, we are going to see that. I am looking forward to seeing that part of Caitlin Clark's game. So now, what what I completely detoured away from that I meant to talk about when I was getting into this about us being other leagues and this and that. And you say, oh, this means that she's ramping up and progressing and coming back soon. It's the WNBA. So per my other video, there absolutely is that little tinfoil hat voice in the back of my head. Oh, I don't think this is happening. This is propaganda. This is the Fever because this got out there, right? This isn't just some random person who happened to sneak in and got this and stuck it on the internet. No, this was put out there. This came from a Fever beat reporter, which means the Fever okayed it being out there. So they're maybe they're just teasing. So they're saying, see, look, Caitlin might be coming back. Stay tuned. Watch the games. Come to the games. Caitlin Clark could be back any minute. You don't want to be the one to miss it. Don't don't sell your tickets. Don't stay home. Um, but yeah, man, this is but it but overall, in all seriousness, overall, in terms of for Caitlin Clark, it absolutely is a good sign. I did not mean to minimize that. Not yet, anyway. I want to show you one other thing, but one other thing I wanted to mention here is per that comment right about Shea Petty signed a hardship deal. That does not mean Caitlin Clark can't come back. Now, it means for now they still need her, and it's just the timing of when this 7 day was up, and they may need her. They need her a little longer, but it has no impact whatsoever on if or when Caitlin Clark can be back on the court for the Indiana Fever, which would give all Fever fans a sigh of relief because if all of this is legitimate and that Caitlin Clark truly it's just been a matter of her not being healthy up to this point. That is a real concern. And maybe it's also, well, we want to err on the side of caution, which I've talked about a lot of that in another video, so I won't get into that too much. But I do, since we are seeing this, I do want to go over real quick before I let you go. We've got all of this. By the way, the Sparks. I don't think I mentioned that in the video yet. The Sparks beat the Seattle Storm last night, right? So now we've got them grouped here together at 6, 7, 8, and 9, 2 games apart. The Fever still have that edge over the Sparks in the loss column. The Sparks also have some tough games left, so they're most likely going to have to win out, but they don't. I don't think they have to. The Fever have got the Lynx. Now, the Lynx, here's the thing I want to point out, too, about that Lynx game. And this is where it gets weird at the end of seasons. Football more than basketball. But, well, on the men's side, they're all a bunch of wusses nowadays. I've seen even coaches and ex-players talk about how back in the day, all the players complained if they weren't getting enough minutes. They all wanted to be out in the court. They wanted to get more minutes. They didn't want to sit, and attitude problems came from that. Now it's the opposite. They complain about the minutes. They complain about the games, even though they get paid more. But that's a topic for another day. But my point being, we still have a battle. The Fever could actually, it's unlikely. They could take over number 6, but it's unlikely just because Golden State has the advantage in the tie break. But they have the advantage over the Storm, and the Sparks have the advantage over the Fever. And again, the Fever they have that 1 game advantage in the loss column. So just real quick, last thing, with obviously a big games tonight for Golden State and Indiana, both with tough opponents who are battling each other for, I believe, the 4 spot. If we go back here real quick, for the 4 spot. And I know it looks like, well, they're most likely going to play each other. Well, not necessarily, because Vegas is right there too, right? Those 3 teams are only separated by half a game, and New York's a game and a half behind Phoenix. But if New York catches Phoenix, yeah, they would play each other, but home court advantage would flip, right? So Liberty still needs to play hard, still needs to win. So tough game for Golden State, tough game for Indy. Then the Sparks have the Dream, tough game for them, right? So all these teams battling for 4 teams left, battling for 3 spots, and they're all having tough games. Now, Golden State's got to give me with Dallas. Los Angeles has to play Atlanta again. And while the Fever get the Sky, so that is huge. Then the Storm play the Liberty, when the Liberty could still be battling for a home court advantage spot. And we'll see how all that shakes out. The Valks have to play the Lynx, but like what I was going to say with that, and that could come in to play even for that game, and it could come into play for the Indiana Fever in the last game of the season, which is the Lynx, which is really going to be interesting. If let me get all the way down here. What do we have? There it is. That's really going to get interesting if there is movement still in the bottom part of the playoff picture, because the Lynx could rest players at that point, right? If they have that number 1 seed wrapped up, they could be giving some players some rest. And if the Fever can still impact other teams by winning or losing, That's when things get interesting. Now it happens a lot more in the NFL, obviously, because the injury risk is much higher. But let's be fair, the WNBA injury risk is closer to the NFL than it is to the NBA. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there. Appreciate you checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Caitlin Clark will be back this season? Let me add to that. Do you think she will be back in the regular season? Because I think now obviously there's no rule against it. She can play, but I think she has to be back in the regular season to have an impact in the playoffs. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out this video. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really, really do appreciate it. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.